Hello, everybody. My name is Mattia Green. I'm doing my current event based off this week's topic, which is middle childhood between the ages of 6 through 12 years old. At this stage, children are influenced by their outside environments and by the standards that society has placed on them to model that of an upstanding citizen. Some of the information that stood out to me in this chapter was the emphasis of bonds, friendships, and attachments. During this period of time, children are figuring out who they can and cannot trust. They are also deciding and understanding that not everyone is meant to be their friend. Their family, their first interaction a child faces is their family and the values brought on upon them by their family. According to the book, children imitate actions that they see within their family and bring it with them to their everyday lives. One example that was in the book is a child mimics their parents' actions around unfamiliar people. They greet people they know and are not overly friendly with people that they don't know, almost as if they're cautious, and they take this into life with them for determining if people are trustworthy or not. A child's social competence helps the child deal with influences and impacts they may not want to deal with at home, such as being teased, excluded, or ignored. Children who have secured attachments at an early age are more likely to make more friends and bonds than children that don't have secured attachments. My current event for this week comes from the Oregonian about Oregon's child abuse reports dropping dramatically after schools shut down statewide. This was posted on March 26, 2020. The article talked about how their hotline has plummeted since schools closed and has left child welfare officials worried about abuse and neglect. Their hotline usually receives around 700 calls every weekday, reporting child safety concerns. This number has dropped by more than half on March 16th. These closures are due to the recent pandemic of the coronavirus to limit spreading of the virus, but it also means children no longer interact every day with teachers and school staff who usually report concerns of neglect and abuse. The mandatory school social distancing makes it even harder for children to get help in these situations. The hotline hasn't received more than 300 calls since March 17th, and as this social isolation sets in, children have less protection and eyes on them. Caseworkers have been sent to check on children's safety of the children who have been reported on in the hotline. Concerns and stresses brought on by the pandemic puts children in a place to be abused or neglected. If we were going to try to put this article into a social worker's perspective, then some of the values that are important would be service, social justice, dignity and worth of a person, importance of human relationships, and competence. I chose this article because I feel like with the pandemic that's going on right now, a lot of children are at risk for neglect and or abuse that they would normally get from home. Usually the school system and after school programs are most children's only source of daily meals and protection for the day. Because for those that are going through that abuse, they have no person to lean on except for the staff and the students and the teachers that they interact with every day. And because schools are closed, there's less notification about these instances that are happening at home, like bruised arms and legs. And I feel like these children that are going through this shouldn't have to rely on um, so heavily on schools and other adults to step in for what their parents should be doing, even though that's not always the case. I feel like this article was very important to me because as a person who came from a home that, I have both parents that took care of me, I have no experience or no previous knowledge of such instances. So it really hits close to home if I had to like put myself in their shoes, that they were abused sexually, physically, emotionally, or neglected of food and water and love and nurturing that they should have gotten as kids. So the school is like some kind of peace of mind. It gives them some kind of relief, like they don't have to like always be on alert or always be worried about something happening soon. And I also feel like these five five values play a part because service, like we as social workers are supposed to give these clients a service to help them be in a better place than they are, whether that's moving them out of their home that they're being abused in, giving them better education, giving them a better lifestyle, or social justice, like, giving them the justice that they deserve. Like, if they've been abused for years, they deserve to be in a better place after everything's all said and done. Importance of human relationships. This is a very important one because during this period of time, they're learning, like, they're finding out about themselves and also finding out how other people interact with them and how they are to take it. Like, they're coping with their losses and wins. So I feel like all of these plays a huge role. If I had a person who happened to be in the situation, I would check on them daily, give them calls like every other day, like make sure that they are good, they have all their needs and everything. I would do pop-ups, making sure everything's all good with them, and then it's not like, oh, they're fine, but they're not really fine. And if I see like little signs that they're being abused again or whatever, I would try everything in my power to get them into a better situation, a better living, and better home than where they're at that moment. And that's all I have for this week.